What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today we're going to be doing a true Draco deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an amazing deck that doesn't even need an extra deck. This deck is super fun to be able to play and plays extremely similarly to Monarchs, where you don't need an extra deck to be able to play this deck, which is just absolutely amazing. This deck is also a really good budget option for anybody to pick up and basically plays a bunch of floodgates to be able to control the game. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dynamite Knight, the true Draco fighter. This is one of the best cards in the entire deck and your main boss monster that you're going to be summoning all the time. It has the ability to tribute summon this card face up. You can tribute continuous spells and traps that you control instead of monsters, which all of your true Draco monsters share that common effect, which is amazing to instantly get them on your side of the field. It's really easy by just tributing your spells and traps. It also has the ability once per turn during either player's turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, while you control this tribute summon monster, you can take a true Draco or true King continuous trap from your deck and either activate it or add it to your hand, which is a very good effect to instantly get to cards like your true Draco Apocalypse or true King's Return, which is a really powerful card to be able to get to with this card. We then play 3 copies of Ignis Heat, the true Draco warrior. I feel like 3 copies is perfect for this particular build. This card is amazing and sure is a common effect, just like your copy of Dynamite Knight, that you can tribute summon this card face up by tributing continuous spells and traps that you control instead of monsters. And once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, while you control a tribute summon monster, quick effect, you can take a true Draco or true King continuous spell from your deck and either activate it or add it to your hand, being very similar to your copy of Dynamite Knight, just for spells. So this card is a really good 3 of in the deck. We then play 2 copies of Majesty's Maiden. Majesty's Maiden at 2 is totally fine for the deck because you really only need 2 copies of this card. This card is amazing in this particular build because once per turn when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control this tribute summon monster, quick effect, you can add a true Draco or true King monster from your deck to your hand. But since we're only playing these 8 in the deck, I feel like 2 is totally fine because you don't really need to search all that much with this card, and 2 just works really well. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. I know, no hand traps. So, for the spells, guys, we're going to start off with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is amazing as a 1 of in the deck because it helps us get to our extremely powerful field spell, Draconic Diagram. Diagram is insanely powerful. It's currently at 1, unfortunately, but this card is amazing because all true Draco and true King monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. And the first time each tribute summoned true Draco or true King monster would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. And the crazy effect about this card is once per turn, you can destroy one other card that you control or in your hand, and if you do, add a true Draco or true King card from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to get to the exact card that you need. We then play a really spicy tech card in this deck that I'm super excited to show you guys. We're actually going to play Guess That card with this card. This card is a really awesome card that helps the deck out a lot to be able to support this particular build, and it's just a really good 1 of in the deck. So we're actually going to play Guess That card. So comment down below what you think this card is down in the comments, and we're going to reveal that card in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad. So this really awesome tech card is an amazing field spell, which is going to be your only hint, and this field spell is Domain of the True Monarchs. I know, amazing, huh? This card is really good in the deck because it has the ability that while you have no cards in your extract and you are the only player that controls a tribute summoned monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extract, essentially locking down your opponent from summoning from the extract, which is just a really awesome effect to be able to use. And if a tribute summoned monster that you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calculation only, which is a pretty good effect to be able to combo with your copy of your true Draco monsters. I really love that effect, and it's a great 1 of in this deck, especially since Draconic Diagram is at 1. It makes it super easy and makes sure your copy of Terraforming is always alive because you do have 2 field spells in the deck that you can get to at any time. We then play 2 copies of Dimensional Fissure. This deck does not care about the graveyard, so playing Dimensional Fissure is really good in this deck to basically just lock down your opponent and be able to banish their monsters. So this card is really good as a 2-of in this particular build. We're then playing 2 copies of True Draco Heritage. Heritage is really interesting in this deck. I love this card as a 3-of in this particular build, because during your main phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of True Draco and True King cards, tights, monsters, spell, and traps sent from the field to the graveyard this turn. And during your main phase, you can immediately spec resolves, tribute summon 1 True Draco or True King monster face up, and if this card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, you can target a spell trap on the field and destroy it, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of Disciples. Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix is just amazing as a 3-of in the deck. I would always play this card as a 3-of because it lets you target 3 True Draco or True King cards in your graveyard and then shuffle them in the deck and then draw a card, making this deck be able to grind extremely easily. and just really amazing about this card. And also during your main phase, any of this effect resolves, you can tribute summon a True Draco or True King monster face up, which is really good. And if this card is in the spell and trap card zone, is sent to the graveyard, then you can target spell or trap on the field and destroy it, which is just a really good effect. We then play 3 copies of Time Tearing Morganite. This card is amazing because you don't need hand traps in the deck. You can basically just play floodgates. So this card is very powerful in the deck because for the rest of the duel, you apply the effect that you cannot activate monster effects in the hand, which we're not going to. Draw 2 cards instead of 1 during your normal draw phase, essentially turning every draw phase into a pot of greed, and has the ability to conduct 2 normal summons or sets per turn, not just 1, making it super easy to get multiple True Draco monsters on your side of the field a turn, which is just really nice. And if you draw into multiple copies of this card, it has the ability to discard, to banish this card from your graveyard, discard a Time Tearing Morganite, and your opponent cannot activate monster effects when you normal summon this turn, giving you a lot of advantage in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Duality for the last 3 spells. We don't actually special summon at all in this deck, we just tribute summon. So this card is great to help us reveal the top 3 cards of our deck and then add one of them to hand, just helping you dig into the deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Skill Drain. Skill Drain is amazing because with Skill Drain on the field with this particular deck, we're basically just playing Tribute Summon Goat format deck, which is amazing with Floodgates. And this card is amazing because it hurts the opponent a lot more than it hurts us, because we can just Tribute Summon out really big monsters by tributing spells and traps, and you don't really need your monster effects in this deck at all because they just search cards that you're already going to have access to, which is really amazing. So Skill Drain really does stop the opponent in their tracks, and if you need to turn it off, you can even tribute it to be able to summon out one of your True Dracos, which is amazing. We then play 3 copies of True King's Return. This card is amazing in the deck as a 3-of, and has a great effect that if this card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, you can target 1 monster on the field and destroy it, and you cannot activate the following effects of True King's Return in the same chain. That you can target a True Draco or True King monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. Also for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon, or during your opponent's main phase, immediately the resolves, you get to tribute summon a True Draco or True King monster to your side of the field, which is a really good effect to be able to use with this card. We then play 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse. Apocalypse is amazing as a 3-of in the deck, and has a great effect that if this card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, you can actually target a monster on the field and destroy it, just like your copy of True King's Return. And this card also has the ability you cannot activate the same effects in the same chain, but they have some really crazy effects that you can target 1 other True Draco or True King card that you control, destroy it, and if you do, the attack and defense of all face-up monsters that your opponent currently controls becomes half their current attack and defense, making it super easy to get through your opponent's board. And also during your opponent's main phase, you can be the effects resolves, you actually get to tribute summon a True Draco or True King monster to your side of the field face up, giving you more summons with this deck, which is just really good. We then play 3 copies of There Can Be Only One. We only play 8 monsters in the main deck, so we can basically just not summon them all out at the same time, which is really good for us, but it basically just stops the opponent because there's a lot of decks running around right now like Kashtira that play a lot of psychics, you have Super Heavy Samurai that play a lot of machines, and and you have other decks that are just playing single types of monsters, and this card really stops them in their tracks because each player can only control one monster of each type, which is really insane because we can just summon out one of our copies of Dynamite Knight and be pretty much set up by setting 5 back row along with it, or 4 back row with it, this being one of them, to shut down the opponent. This plus skill drain is just insane. We then play 3 copies of the Monarch's Erupt. The Monarch's Erupt is basically like additional copies of skill drain in the deck. You should activate this card only if you have no cards in your X deck and you control a tribute summon monster. You negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field, and then while those monsters are face-up on the field except tribute summon monsters, so it's a one-sided skill drain because we're always going to normal summon out our monsters to our side of the field and tribute them by tributing spells and traps, making this card insanely powerful as a 3-of in the deck to basically just lock down the opponent while we still get our effects. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy this one. This deck is super fun to be able to play. It's a really budget option as well, which is amazing because all the cards pretty much have been reprinted into commons, which is amazing about this deck. And it's a really fun deck for anybody to play. So that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come part of our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.